Casey's Calm ASMR. Subscribe and then fall asleep. Hi everyone, it's Casey. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and spending some time with me. Today, in celebration of my birthday month, I'm going to read some Am I the A-Hole from Reddit from my trusty iPad here. I'm going to try to attempt to do this holding this microphone so that I can get it close to my mouth and holding the iPad at the same time. But we'll see if it works out. Okay, let's find a good one. Am I the a-hole for lifting a pregnant girl home? I, 23 female, recently had an argument with my boyfriend over me taking a pregnant girl home. I was done with work and he texted me saying he was going with his best friend and his best friend's wife to dinner for her birthday. He told me I can join if I want. I said yes, but that I couldn't change and would still be wearing work clothing. I also went to buy her a present real quick. He then asked me to go home and change so I could look better. I mean, I was kind of pissed, but I get it, so I went to change and put on some makeup. And honestly, I'm really proud because I managed to do it in less than 5 minutes. I got there, and when I arrived at the table, they were 4 eating at a 4-person table. Best friend, best friend's wife, and the wife's sister, the one who's pregnant. I asked them politely where I was supposed to sit. It was kind of awkward. I would have expected my boyfriend to reserve me a seat and ask the server to move tables or something. I asked him to do so, and he ended up doing it. We ate, everything was fine, having a good time. I took pictures with the girls, and then the girls continued alone. The guys were ready to go home, and my boyfriend mentioned earlier that they all came in the same car, so I was expecting to bring him home as we lived together. He then told me that there was a change of plan. Wife and a best friend came together, and he came with the pregnant sister. I was kind of uncomfortable and told him I was bringing her home. I asked her prior. She said yes because I have a new comfy car instead of my boyfriend's 2008 Yaris. That really was my thought behind the action. She's 8 months now and my car is spacious. Anyways, I dropped her and she was really grateful and told me we should catch up soon. I came home and when he arrived, I told him I was pissed about yesterday because he ignored me when I got home from work. The issue I was talking about was not related to the birthday dinner. He then proceeded to tell me that me taking the sister was disrespectful because it made it seem like I did not trust him around other girls. I mean, I'm 50-50 on that, but that's not the point. So why was I uncomfortable to find out he brought her? First, about a year ago, I was going home from work again, and I saw my boyfriend in his car with a blonde girl. Me being the person I am, decided to chase them. I was able to stop them, and when I asked who she was, he screamed at me, "Back off." No. I cried like a hysterical baby in the middle of the street, then got back in my car and parked in a parking lot to cry. Halfway into crying, I got check-in on by the police, who came inside the parking lot to ask for my side of the story. He FaceTimed me during that time with the best friend, saying that the blonde girl was the best friend's side chick, that he was dropping her out of his place from the airport. Let me remind you that I was going home. That means he was leaving the freaking home. If not, he would have been going the same direction as me because I was working near the airport at the time. So tell me please, how am I supposed to believe him? His reaction was messed up. If my boyfriend was behind me while I was driving and he let me know he was there, I would have pulled over and not started a chase. We were able to reconcile, but I never forgot that. And sometimes when I drive past that red light, it makes me want to vomit. Back to the pregnant sister. I think he connected the two because he thought I was assuming something here. So yes, I was uncomfortable, but not because she's her, but because we talked about it a year ago. If you don't want me making assumptions, don't put me in that situation. I asked for communication, like, hey, by the way, I'm dropping off this person, blah, blah, blah. Even me, when I finish work, I lift some coworkers to the bus or subway. I will let him know out of respect, so he doesn't wonder why I'm taking more time to get home. My boyfriend screamed at me saying I was disrespecting him by taking her home. Now he's ignoring me and won't even talk to me. I told him that coming from someone who keeps talking about respect, that he's not being nice toward me. I know I could give him time, but in my opinion, it's not good to go to sleep after a fight. He said that my attitude at dinner was stupid and he would never invite me to any event with his friends because of the BS that I pulled off. To me, this is nonsense. I hurt his ego, and now he does care not at all about my feelings. So AITA for taking this pregnant lady home. Feel free to ask questions. I will clarify. This dude is probably a chronic cheater. I know that that's unfair because I don't know him, obviously, but his reaction was absolutely ridiculous and off the charts and does not warrant this situation, in my opinion. So I think that she needs to re-examine her whole relationship, and she's definitely not the a-hole. Let's see what the internet says. I would dump him. He was clearly cheating a year ago and you forgave him. Why did the pregnant sister ride with him in the first place? I would be investigating to see if he could be the dad. But yeah, he's tripping and you should have left him after that car chase incident. Someone said, it's super weird to me. He didn't even invite her. He just said, you can come if you want. And then she decided to go. He probably was hoping she wouldn't come. That's 100% true. Or there would have been a place for her at the table. I could be wrong, but it read to me as if they were eating when she got there. It could be a Reddit stretch, but coupled with this earlier action claiming to take a friend's mistress to the airport that time, I wouldn't put anything past this guy. Nothing he'd be doing makes sense. Like, why would the plan have been for him to pick up his best friend's partner's pregnant sister in an uncomfortable car? A car so inappropriate for her state that his girlfriend's offer of a ride was more appropriate than it was a fit of jealousy that her man was dropping off another woman. Just Sunday morning coffee speculation. Yep, let's look at another one. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay a larger fine than my roommate after improperly following dorm move-out procedure? This is a story from last year, which was my first year in college, living in the freshman dorms. I think about it sometimes and wonder if I was an a-hole. I was living in a dorm with 3 other roommates, and we all had left for winter break, which is particularly long at our college. Like most dorms, ours had some pre-break procedures that we had to make sure we were done before we left for the holidays. We did pretty good following all of these except the mini fridge. My roommate, let's call her Emma, and I had left a few perishable items in the fridge for which we both got fined $150. Insane, I know. Now here's where the issue comes in. I had left multiple perishable items in the fridge, while she had only left 1 bottle of whipped cream. When we originally received the email from the room monitors about the items left in the fridge, I immediately texted the roommate group chat apologizing for leaving my items and saying that I would take take responsibility for my half, but I also asked who had left the whipped cream bottle. Emma owned up as well, but claimed that whipped cream was not a perishable, so I took it upon myself to clarify with the room monitors to ask if it was considered one of the perishable items. They confirmed it was. Since we had confirmed that we both left items in the fridge, I texted Emma and said that since the fine was so high, I could pretend like it was me who left all the items in the fridge, so the fine would just go on me. Then after we could split it half and each pay $75, rather than both having to pay $150 to the school. Now when I said this, Emma said I would have to pay the larger share of the money because I left more items in the fridge. Personally, I think that's BS. We had both failed to check the fridge during move out. If either of us had checked, then all the items would have been gone. As well as this, if we both owned up to leaving the items, we would still receive the same $150 fine. The school would not have charged me more because I had more items. Am I crazy or am I right? I don't know. Anyways, I told her no and tried to explain the way I saw things. It started out pretty civil, but then she said that since I couldn't agree to that, she was emailing the school so we would both just pay the $150. And I thought this was extremely petty. Even though we had a disagreement about it, wouldn't you rather just pay the $75? I truly didn't understand her thinking. I was honestly pissed and said some nasty things to her after this, which I do regret. I should have just left it, but $150 was a lot for me at the time. Well, what do you think? Was I the a-hole for refusing to pay the bigger share? I don't know that this person is necessarily an a-hole. I think for sure that the girl should have agreed to let them take responsibility so that there was a lower fine. Maybe they could have offered to pay, rather than 50-50, maybe a little bit more, but I would say that is more than fair and just more financially responsible to just have one person take responsibility for it. Let's see. This person says, you weren't very strategic. I would have thrown her a discount of like $10 just to appease her. Like, okay, I'll pay $85, you pay $65. Yes, that's what I was trying to collect in my head. If you just go down $5 or $10 on her part, then that would have saved both of you money. But I still don't think that this person's an a-hole. I think that the other person was being very difficult. I think your roommate was standing on principle, and right or wrong, she believed you should pay more. Since you didn't agree, she decided to play hardball. You could have offered to pay $100 and still save yourself $50. I don't know. This person says there wasn't going to be a fine for a can of whipping cream, and that's probably true, but like the poster said, if either of them had taken the time to just look in the fridge, all the items would have been cleaned out. Okay, let's find one more. There's some banging going on in the office next door, and it is so loud, and I don't know what they're doing, so I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I hope that you found this to be relaxing and entertaining. I hope that you have a fabulous rest of your day.